When we lose a game, it's very easy to have an extreme reaction to a game. It's very easy to say that, you know, everything is bad, everything is all negative, especially after we got a string of good results. Unfortunately, when it comes to last night, I don't think there are any positives that we can take. And I think to a certain extent, the reactions are justified, because that performance last night was a prime example of what we are, which is mid-table mediocrity. Hello everybody, and welcome to another match reaction, which may turn into another rant, if you will, as I do have a fair few things to talk about. So, Bolton beat us 2-1 last night. Away from home, midweek, 250 Charlton fans went up there. Crazy bastards, a lot of them. That's probably the only positive we can take out of this fan base this season, is our fans. You know, we constantly come in our numbers, and we always get the same thing. You know, we get shocking performances, or we've had shocking performances this season away from home, and the only thing we get from the players is just, you know, an apology, and we go again. And the same with the club, you know, and it's just the same old, and we deserve better. And last night was another prime example of that. You know, like I said, it's very easy to have an extreme reaction. You know, we were unbeaten in 3 wins on the trot before losing that game tonight, but that performance was just a shambles. It was just an absolute shambles. A terrible defensive display, no attacking quality whatsoever. And we only showed any decent quality when the substitutes came on. And even then, we let it slip between our grasps. You know, just a shocking performance from start to finish, really. And like I said, a prime example of our mediocrity right now, and how we won't get any better than the position we currently are in. That's what I think anyway. On paper, this squad should at least be finishing in the top 10. That's my opinion. Do I think we're going to do it? No chance. Let's dive into the absolute shambles of that game last night, shall we? So starting off with the lineup, again, the typical formation of the 5 at the back, although there were 3 changes to the squad. Jaiyesimi came in place of Corey Blackett-Taylor, who of course did pick up an injury against AFC Wimbledon on Saturday. I'm not entirely sure the extent of the injury. Ryan Innes came out of the squad. He was replaced by Jason Pearce. The club said that we are managing his minutes. They didn't say it was injury related, so I could kind of see that one coming. And then the same with Chuks Aneke. Aneke came out of the squad. He was on the bench, and he was replaced by Mason Burstow. Innes didn't actually make the matchday 18, wasn't in the squad at all. Sam Lavelle was, though. He did obviously make an appearance on the bench. His first appearance since October, I want to say, Sunderland, when he picked up that injury. So very long time since Lavelle's been out. I felt going into the game, obviously I had a bit of optimism for the first time in a while, considering that we were on a decent bit of form. We finally found ourselves in the top half of the table. We were sat in 11th. You know, we were, as I said, 4 games unbeaten, 3 wins on the bounce. Looking fairly decent, you could say, in some of those games, and we were slowly but surely climbing away up the table. But our opponents, Bolton, were not going to be easy. They were unbeaten in their last 5, obviously a draw last time out against Morecambe in very controversial circumstances, that game. And the previous 4 games were, of course, wins. So they weren't going to be an easy opposition. And obviously they have got some very good players. Dapai for Lion, Carl Dempsey, Dion Charles, you know, Ricardo Santos, who was actually sent off against Morecambe, but I'm assuming that his red card was rescinded, as he did start this game. Going into the first half, it was just, it was awful. It was awful, to put it bluntly. An absolutely horrendous first half display with terrible defending, no attacking presence whatsoever. And yeah, just the comedy of errors. At first, Bolton looked like a side that couldn't handle pressure when we tried to pressure their defensive line. Whenever we would put them under pressure, they'd punt the ball long, and it wouldn't work out for them. You know, they would either just go out of play, they would kick it off the pitch for a throw, or we'd intercept their passes. So I felt that, okay, if we put them under pressure a little bit, we could maybe get somewhere. And that was obviously unravelled when Bolton did end up taking the lead from a goal that started from a drop ball that shouldn't have happened, in my opinion. From what I saw anyway, obviously we were popping the ball nicely on the right-hand side, and then the referee blows because Clare is down injured, even though we're in possession and are on the attack. And the referee blows for drop ball, drops the ball, we kick it to Gilbey, do absolutely nothing with it. Bolton clear their lines, ball bounces, Famewo makes an absolute hash of a header, comes straight to Dion Charles, rounds Craig MacGillivray in the back of the net, goal. I don't know how Famewo didn't clear the ball off the line either, to be honest with you. How he didn't get to that ball is beyond me. But I think what's equally as bad, or not even equally as bad, you know, just plain stupidity and just awful, was that header. I don't know what he was doing or what he was thinking, but it's a shambles. It is an absolute shambles. Like I said, I don't think it should have been a drop ball because we were in possession when one of our players were down. You know, we're on the attack and ref blows for drop ball. Ref had a bad game, but I won't talk about him anymore because I'm not blaming the ref for our performance because our performance was shocking. That right there from Famewo was another prime example of how shocking our defence has been recently. Even in the Wimbledon game, obviously I didn't do a match reaction for that game, but both of our goals we conceded on Saturday was just shocking defensive errors, and they both came from set pieces. You know, MacGillivray drops the ball and they managed to score from it, and then the second back post header, as easy as that, both from set pieces. Obviously, that wasn't a set piece, but it still stands. You can't be making defensive errors like that, especially players like Famewo, who I do like. And to be honest, that was pretty much it. That was it for the first half. It was just an absolute shambles. Bolton apparently had only one shot in that entire first half, so that goal that they scored was their only effort on target. I don't know where the stats got 5 shots for Charlton from, because I don't recall us having 5 shots in that half. You know, we were that bad. We were just shocking. Defensively, we just got caught in possession way too many times. You know, we were getting booked for the stupidest of things. You know, Conor Washington and Alex Gilbey both were booked for impeding the goalkeeper. I say impeding the goalkeeper, you know, running into him. They're getting frustrating because you're losing the ball and you're getting beat. You know, it's not good. It's not a good look when you're doing stuff like that. You're getting frustrated and you're getting booked stupidly like that. It's just, I don't know, it just looked, we just lost our heads last night. You know, like I said, defensively, we were terrible. We're getting caught in possession doing stupid shit, giving the ball away too many times. Inside the back line, we're trying to do stupid things and we're just giving the ball away easily, you know. Attackingly, Mason Burstow may as well have not been on the pitch. He was absolutely non-existent last night. So was Washington in the first half, to be fair, but Burstow more so. He did next to nothing last night. And it was a game, really, that we missed Aneke and Innes in, you know. His minutes do need to be managed. But unfortunately, that is a weakness to Innes's game. You know, vulnerability is a weakness of Innes because we've got to get the best out of him, you know. And the same with Aneke, you know. It was evident from last night. We needed that big man up top because of their big man in defence, Ricardo Santos, who was an absolute animal, by the way. He was an absolute joke last night for them. Every time we play a long ball forward towards Washington, when you've got Santos towering over him, every single ball cleared, headed away, like we could not get through him. It was so frustrating to watch, but I had to admire what he was doing. And I do rate Santos. The second half, we saw a little bit of an improvement. You know, we switched. I did see a switch to a little bit of a diamond. It was very, I couldn't really tell what we were doing, really, because we lobbed Matthews at left back. Clare was right back. And then obviously we put DJ into the diamond. And then I think we advanced Gilbey and Morgan eventually before we made substitutions. But I felt that that did work for a time. You know, there was a period where it did work, but it was just, the beginning of it was just the same old thing we saw in the first half. You know, players just doing stupid things in the defensive line especially. You know, Famewo and Clare and players like that trying to run out of their defensive line, trying to get forward. Clare did it somewhat well, but Famewo, every time, he'd just get hold of the ball, heavy touch, lose the ball. Famewo had a stinker tonight. And so did Jason Pearce. He's not going to get away with it either. Pearce was an absolute liability in the defence tonight, you know. And to be honest with you, was very lucky to not receive a red card, we have to say. I can't remember what he got booked for first. I can't remember the first booking that he got. The second one that he should have got was just, it's just unnecessary. Well, the challenge was necessary. He had to do it because Charles was playing through on goal. But he put himself in that position by losing the ball in the first place and doing stupid shit. Then brings Charles down because, you know, he's made a mistake and he has to bring him down. And like I said, was very lucky to not walk away with a red card. And you could tell that Jackson thought it was a red card because we went on to sub him off straight away. Sam Lavelle took his place and Aneke came on in place of Burstow. I would say, though, that Famewo was also very lucky to last the full 90 because he too was a shambles last night. But yeah, very lucky for Pearce not to get a red card, as Bolton fans pointed out. But then again, you have to say that your player, Gethin Jones, was also very lucky to not receive a red card for a studs-up challenge on Dobson. I thought it was a bad challenge at first. Obviously, the ref booked it. But upon seeing the picture, it is studs up. It's a dangerous tackle. He's got to see red, in my opinion. And Ian Evatt and Johnny Jackson agree with me. You know, I think we're both in agreement that they should have both walked. They both didn't, which I think is down to the referee being a shambles. We did get back into the game with an equaliser that I felt we didn't deserve. But We obviously did make another substitution. Alex Gilbey came off. Scott Fraser came on for his second appearance for the club. Obviously did come off the bench against Wimbledon. Felt he was fairly decent. Felt he made an impact against Wimbledon. But last night especially, he made an impact. And he showed exactly why he is a good player at this level. And to be honest with you, has put a very good case in for him starting games from now on over the likes of Morgan and Gilbey, both of which were very ineffective. And Gilbey, probably 2 games in a row now, has been booked for 2 unnecessary things. The goal was absolutely fantastic, you know, getting down on the left-hand side, ran past the defender, skinned him, crossed it in on the left foot, and Chuks Aneke with the goal, with a towering header. How he jumped that high is beyond me. You know, he really did reach up for that, and he put it past Trafford for 1-1. Fraser's superb delivery, Aneke's goal, the substitutes combining for the equaliser. But unfortunately, as we know, that did not last long, as another unnecessary foul was given, this time by Clare. Just unnecessarily pushed the player. Easy foul to give away. I don't know why he done it. They get a free kick, Morley crosses it in, Aimson flicks on the header, goal, game over. Same thing as the Wimbledon match. Free kick, header, goal, game over. Same thing. Exact same thing that we saw against Wimbledon, and it came from an unnecessary foul. All night, all we saw, just unnecessary fouls, stupid bookings, and just plain old stupid shit. I've said it so many times. That's all we did last night. Our first defeat in 5, which I guess you could take somewhat of a positive away from that. As you know, we did get on a good patch of form, but like I said, that performance was just a prime example of what we are. Mid-table mediocrity. And we're not going to get any better from this season. We are not going to get any better. We had a good run of form. You know, we beat Fleetwood, Portsmouth and Wimbledon on the bounce. We drew with Charlton, which we were very lucky to get, by the way. Got ourselves in the top half of the table for probably the first time this season. And all of a sudden, people are once again thinking that we're going to get top 6. I say that I have an extreme reaction. I've had this opinion since Adkins got sacked, when we were 22nd in League One. Playoffs for me was always out of the question. It was simply the case of Jackson getting the job, getting the best out of these players, or trying to get the best out of these players, pushing them on and getting the best possible finish that we can. And it's frustrating because I do think Jackson is the man for the job, but the contract that he has is bizarre, and it makes me think that he won't be here past this season. And I really hope that that is wrong, because I would like to think that Jackson is the man for the job. It's been a failure from start to finish. There's no sugarcoating it. You know, I know we've had good patches this season, but overall it's been a shambles of a season. And really, we need to be expecting higher than 13th, because we shouldn't be in this position as a club. You know, we deserve to be, but we shouldn't be in this position. I've held the opinion of we're not going to get top 6 for the entire season, near enough, after Adkins got sacked. You know, I don't know why it's still been a discussion now amongst the fan base, you know, and it's mainly the Charlton TV panel that still talk about the fact that we can still get top 6. That was out of the question when we lost 4-1 to Bolton, 3-2 to Accrington, when Adkins was just well out of his depth, and these players just looked like they didn't give a shit. And it's frustrating, because I know some of these players can play. We've seen that when Jackson was caretaker. When he was caretaker, he got the best out of these players, and we were playing some fantastic football, some brilliant football. He gets the job, and we're right back to square one, right where we were at the start of the season, playing like absolute shit. We had a good spell, I know, 3 wins on the bounce, I've mentioned it multiple times, but that performance last night was a shambles. It was an embarrassment and a prime example of what we are. And we are not going to get any better than what we're doing right now. And that's the way I see it. Like I said, I think we have a top 10 squad on paper. I don't think we're going to do it, though. I said in my prediction video, reacting to my predictions and mid-season predictions, the best we're going to get is 12th. And I still stand by that. I can't stop thinking about what Steve Gallen said after the transfer window, in that we've got a good core to go into next season with. If this team is the core of our squad for next season, then God help us, honestly. God help us. When is our recruitment team going to understand, or when is this club going to understand that there is a massive amount of deadwood in this team, and a lot of these players need to go? It needs to be another hard reset in the summer, and I'm sick of us rebuilding this squad, because since 2016 we've constantly rebuilt this squad. This team has been unrecognisable every single season, and we're not exactly good at it. We had one stroke of genius in 2018-19. But even then, that promotion team was gone the next season, and we got relegated the next year. Personally, what do I think is the main problem for this season? The players and the recruitment. I don't blame Sangard as much as that. I don't think Sandgaard has been perfect this season. He has done some poor things. I don't think he has football-minded people around him to advise him. After all, he is the CEO as well as the owner, and he's based in Colorado. You know, that's the first problem. We need someone that's going to be at this club full-time with football experience to work and oversee the running of the football club. But I don't blame him for this failure, you know, because let's be honest, he ain't exactly involved in the recruitment team. The way that I see it anyway, he just gives Jackson the money, signs off the players and gets the deals done. He doesn't, you know, single out the players. He ain't a fucking scout, is he? And again, the view that he's skint, he isn't. He spent 800k in January, allegedly. The guy has money. The recruitment was a shambles in the summer. Even in January, it was a shambles by bringing in 2 loan players that aren't even going to play. You know, it's, I don't know at this point, you know, but I just don't blame Sandgaard as much as anything else. Yes, he's made mistakes, I do admit that, but I just don't think he's as bad as people are making him out to be. And like I said, it's just a shame that there are some fans within this fan base that have so much of an agenda against him that is the first thing that they blame. The first thing they blame is him and not the players that wear this shirt, that, let's be honest, aren't good enough. A lot of these players in this squad aren't good enough. And I know, again, I keep mentioning it, I have an extreme reaction, but unfortunately I've held this view since Adkins got sacked, in that a lot of these players ain't good enough and there is no way that we're going to get top 6. I just want the season to end at this point, you know, just get through it, go again in the summer, rebuild this team, get it right this time. But anyway, I'm going to end it there. I told you it was going to turn into a bit of a rant, but I feel like it needed to be said, unfortunately. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, turn on post notifications so you are notified of whenever I upload a new video. What do you guys think of the game? And let me know in the comments below. I don't think there's going to be a match reaction from me from the Wigan game. I'm not going to the match, and it solely depends on whether I'm able to watch the game. If I'm not, then I won't be doing a match reaction. Obviously, the next home game is against Oxford on the 19th. I will be going to that one, so there will be a match reaction for that. Probably have to upload a couple of videos in between there and there. I'll have to come up with something. If you have any video ideas, feel free to let me know. This has been Tyler Wellington. Have a nice day, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all then.